All right, this is Danny Steenstra with the Athlete Think Tank. You can follow these videos also on Spuddle.com. Today we're going to be talking about emotion and is it okay to be a baseball player who snaps? Is it okay to not show your emotions, or just a general regard on showing emotion on the baseball field, in public, in the dugout, anywhere? So what do you think, Brett?
I mean, I don't show that much emotion, especially on the field. When you play in the game, you get after it. But I think that, when you do bad or, get out a lot, you can't come in and just throw your stuff, because that shows you that you're just defeated in that time, and then you can carry that on throughout the game. It's one of those things you just kind of as soon as that's over, you gotta accept it, move on into your next at bat. Otherwise, you're just dwelling on that feeling.
Take milk.
Yeah, I understand that, and I think that approach probably gets you the most consistent mentally and to play your best defensively as well as offensively. But I also understand that we're 25 humans playing this game, and things build up. It's a game of failure. Things build up, and to snap is natural once in a while. I don't agree with it. I don't think there's anything more annoying than a guy who kind of, throws a pity party every single time he gets out. I don't agree with that, but I understand sometimes when guys let out frustration once in a while.
I mean, what's going through your head when you get out for your fourth at bat? So you got 0 for 4 with 3 Ks on the day, and your last time you strike out looking, and somebody comes in, you come in and just chuck your stuff. I don't see how that helps you in the game in any way. To release anger, you throw your helmet, you're oh, okay, I'm good now. You're still frustrated even though you throw something.
Yeah, well, I think the thought is that you get the frustration out. Whether you choose to throw your stuff or not, I don't think I think by throwing it, you let some of that anger out. I mean, is the theory. But regardless, if you don't throw it, it's still in you. You're still taking that out to defense. I mean, you can hide it and put up a facade, but does that mean that you're still focused and in the game because you didn't throw your stuff?
I mean, I try to leave it at that, and then after the game, I'll go back and look at my bats and be man, okay, I really struggled today hitting, what I do. And I think that, talking about slumps, try to stay out of that rhythm. If you really ride that, I always say, riding the roller coaster, because it's a long season. If you ride those ups and downs, they're really going to be high and it's really going to be low. And I think that's where guys struggle a lot. If you can stay more even keel, you'll be more consistent at the game, even if, you say, it is a facade, yeah, I can. But I can fake it enough to go out there and still play my game and do well and not, let those emotions control me physically.
I mean, you can really, too, add this in, you got to really pick and choose your times that you're going to get frustrated, like you're saying, because if you've got a guy on your team who is making the same mistakes repetitively and you see him doing that as a player on your team, for me personally, it pisses me off. It makes me mad watching him get in there and make the same mistake every time. He goes, oh, here comes the bat throw. Going to slam my helmet now after I swung at the curveball in the dirt again. And it's going to be the same thing over and over again. And I think that's distracting to the team. Do I agree with snapping? Yes, but it's got to be man, I've tried every in and out, of what makes me, most makes me successful, and I'm still not having success. So I mean, might be an appropriate time to have a snap. But if it's every single time and it's the same thing every single time, I think that can take away from you, your relationship with your teammates in the game situation, because your teammates aren't going to be on board with you. You're going to have a negative energy coming off of you, and your teammates are going to reflect that. Maybe at some point. Yeah,
and at that point, it affects more than yourself. It affects the team and just the team. The way it's represented. I just want to be clear. I'm not, snapping is kind of a weird word. It's I feel like snapping is
hitting the Gatorade cooler.
Yeah, you're throwing the Gatorade cooler on the field. You're snapping the bat over your leg. You're throwing the ball bucket into the stands. I don't mean that. I mean, a relatively medium amount of anger that's you let it out, it's done, you're flushed, you go out and play defense.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
We come in, guys will, slam their helmet in the helmet rack, and guys will be man, the helmet didn't do anything. You're taking anger out on nothing. instead of just owning up to what you just did and accepting that as a person and like manning up to it and then moving on.
Well, yeah, in a perfect world, that's a great idea, but we're human beings. I mean, I'd like to hit 400-foot home runs with perfect mechanics every time, but the fact is, repeating that all the time is very, very hard to do. And if you can manage it, and cut yourself off most of the time that you're going to do it, and it comes out sometimes, I don't think it's as big of a problem.
Yeah, and just make sure that the other humans on the field with you are not,
Right.
I mean, I've seen also, guys slam their helmet and then a guy gets hit in the face with the helmet,
Yeah, well,
some stuff like that, and that, that's a whole other side of it, I mean, whether, it be an aggressive type of anger or, something like that.
See, I don't really mind. My opinion on this is kind of neutral. I think it's more just the guy, he's going to do it.
It's
Unless,
personal.
the coach comes up and says, I don't want you to do it, he'll stop. But if it's affecting the team he goes out on defense and routinely, when he's struggling, boots the ball, and it's routine, it happens, that's when it's a problem. But
It's a team
I don't
problem,
care if a
yeah.
guy comes in and throws a bat and, down the hallway. I have zero care in the world for that. I wouldn't get mad at him, it's just who he is.
Yeah.
And there's the big leagues, it's just you might not see it. Doing it in public, like a big thing for me is guys pop a ball up and they say a swear word halfway down to first. And a lot of places you can't hear it, but a lot of places like where we play, it's literally that's the only thing you hear. And the majority of the people there are kids, so that's the only thing I would say. And we've all done it, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that's because it's just a bad habit.
I mean, something with that, like if guys get upset, like I don't get upset at that guy for getting mad. Like I understand that he's frustrated, but that's where it's like, don't just come in and just chuck your stuff. Like if you want to get mad, like come set your stuff in, go back in the locker room or something, and do it back there where you're not going to be a distraction and like fans aren't going to hear it. Like that pitcher knows he just beat you. Don't come in and let him know that he really beat you. Because the next time up, he knows you're frustrated. He's going to try to, this guy's up again, man. He's struggling. I got him now.
Yeah.
That's part of being a professional,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. There is, as bad as or weird as it sounds, there's a way to go about it. You can't just go all out right in front of everybody, in front of the fans. Because, I mean, you play in Springfield or Memphis, there's games where there's 8, 9, 10,000 people there, and a lot of them are kids. So, like you said, there is kind of a reputation to uphold, and however you represent the team, it's not just yourself. So, yeah,
So
I would agree.
So basically, what we're saying is be professional. Number one, everyone's humans. It's gonna happen. So you just gotta try to limit it, but be yourself at the same time, and then understand everyone's themselves.
Yeah.
So go about your business the right way. All right. Well, thanks for watching this episode of the Athlete Think Tank, and once again, you can watch on Spuddle.com as well. And we hope you join us next episode. Thanks.